starting new habits can be really overwhelming. Just here on YouTube, there's so many videos about different tips and stuff about how to live frugally. Um, it's a lot when you look out on the internet or on social media, and it could feel like, okay, there's no way I could keep up with this. It's just too much to do, too many changes to make. That's with anything. When you're like on a diet, you want to exercise, you want to lose weight. There's so many things that you can change about your lifestyle, which would help, but it can be so overwhelming that you just completely conk out. So I've decided I'm just going to work on a couple of things at a time. This is a journey. It's going to take time to get to where you really want to be. So just take it slow, master a couple of habits, and then move on to the next. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the few frugal habits that I'm going to start adopting right now so that I can make my small little income stretch as far as it can go. Stay tuned. In my last video, I was just sharing my honesty, talking about the struggles that I've been having and how I felt pretty unmotivated as of late. So just switching it up a little bit can infuse you with a little bit more enthusiasm for your debt payoff journey or your savings journey. Just making a couple of changes along the way can make a big difference. So, like I said in my last video, that I'm going to be talking a lot more about frugal lifestyle and things like that, because that's really the direction that my husband and I are already heading towards. So I might as well incorporate that here since that is my life. This whole channel is all about debt payoff, but living simply, living that frugal lifestyle and saving money. Just what can you do on a small income? Because I'm not bringing in that much, and I don't actually plan to be rich anytime soon for sure. So, how can you make it work on a very modest income? That's what this is about. Most of you already know I'm pretty strict, as far as my budget's concerned. I've been doing this journey here for a couple of years. I started at the end of 2021, making like little tweaks here and there. But then January 2022 was when I was just on fire to get rid of my debt, my credit card debt, my car payment, yeah, that kind of debt. And then I wanted to move on to my mortgage. Not sure if I'm going to do that. But as of late, I kind of lost my fire since I lost my income last year, and I can't see how I'm going to make my goals like a reality, like how I'm going to achieve my goals. I can't plan it out like I was able to do in the past, where I had that consistent, stable paycheck coming in every couple of weeks. Things are a little different. I do get paid every week for my cleaning business, which is not much. It's just one client, but it's a nice amount. It is definitely a help throughout the month. And then everything else is just like once a month, with like YouTube. My husband's clients pay usually all at that first week of the month. And then that's it. So I'm thinking, for me to help myself, like get that fire going again, a couple of tweaks I'm going to make just to keep me excited. Basic frugal tips 101 is what I've been looking at. But some things I noticed that I don't do. Even though I'm really good at curbing my spending, I'm really good at going through the budget and finding areas that I could cut costs in. I don't have a problem calling any provider and asking for a deal, a discount, or just getting rid of them all together and finding a cheaper provider, cheaper service. I have no problem doing that. It is time consuming, but it's totally worth it. I know many of you are probably like tired of like switching cell phone companies, insurance companies, but it's like it's totally worth it. Just taking those a few minutes out, taking that extra time to do, it's totally worth it. I'm good at that. Here's what I'm not good at. When you really think you want something and then you go shopping and you just grab it, you throw it in your cart and you're like, I have to have this now, either online or in person. And then, you go and you get it and then you come back and you're like, oh man, that could have totally waited, or I really didn't need that. Or, why did I get that in the first place? Okay. So that's me. I kind of fall into the trap of that impulse buying. These aren't things that I need. I just want them and I have to have it now. Something I'm going to adjust right now is doing that hold period. When you see something, you want it, but then sitting on it for a period of time, I'm thinking some people suggest 30 days. That seems like a long time, but that's probably wise to do that. I'm thinking at least giving myself 14 days to just kind of sit and think about it and then come back to it in 14 days and see, do I really want this? Do I really need this? Yeah, that's something that I just was not doing. My husband has been someone that's constantly said to do that, and I just don't, because I'm like, no, I want it now. And he's like, you could actually walk away. Like, you don't have to make a decision right now. It'll be here tomorrow. You could come back. That's something I'm going to adopt right now. Stop, let's ice it for at least 14 days and come back to it. I think that'll help me a lot in the long run if I use that hold period before I hit that buy button. Something else that I have not been doing that I'm going to start right now is when I do want something, to check to see if I can borrow it first from a friend or family member. Yeah, don't do that, which is pretty silly. That seems very cost effective if you know someone that has it, a tool or whatever it is, or like something you're only going to use like one or two times, just borrow it. That makes so much sense. But then if you can't borrow it, going to like thrift stores or, any type of secondhand shops. I hate to say it, but that was not my first go-to thing. If I need something, I'm like, let me go on Amazon and buy it. And I always bought new. All right. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to ask around. Does anyone have this? Or even maybe someone even wants to just give it away. Maybe it's not borrowing. Maybe my friend wants to get rid of their item and I need it. Check that first. And if no friends, no family members, or anybody has what I'm looking for, secondhand shops, I have to do that first and foremost. Because I actually like having a bunch of stuff around my house that's piling up. So borrowing it would be even better. But then, if I have to buy it, might as well buy used, right? Yeah, that's something that I really wasn't great at. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Like when I need clothes or whatever, I would like always hit the thrift stores. But what about everything else? Buy used over new. I think, yeah, that's definitely a wise course of action for sure, especially when it comes to like furniture. I love like buying used like cabinets or tables because I love painting and refurbishing things. Uh, someone said something on one of my videos a while back. It's I know whatever it was, I was talking about low income and saving money. And like someone had said something about my house, like looking around, they could see that I have too much stuff and my stuff is too expensive. Um, I honestly, I only thing I could say to this person was thanks. I mean, my house really isn't cluttered, but I do have furniture in it. That's true. I don't like a lot of clutter. I could probably stand to get rid of a few knickknacks, but I'm not really big about knickknacks either. But yeah, this person felt that I had too much stuff and it was too expensive. And so I just said thanks because in actuality, that's not the life that I live. I don't buy expensive stuff, but I do like things to look more expensive. Like I like things to look like they're expensive that just aren't. So most of the stuff in my house, it probably looks great because I painted it. Like my furniture, I painted all of my furniture that it like to match to match one another. I did that. And then a lot of stuff like this is a fireplace. I got that from my mother-in-law the year that I married my husband. And it was like an oak fireplace, that like portable fireplace that you could put like fake logs in, and then those little cans that you light, which we've never used that, but I just like the way it looked. But I didn't like the color. So after a while, I painted it white to match like other furniture. And like I got those things from the little, cubbies from Walmart. Just trying to make things look cohesive and cute. And of course, the pictures in the background from Ross, 5.99 stuff. That big mirror, which totally looks expensive. I did spend $20 on that. And it's heavy. But yeah, I'm not about having expensive stuff. My furniture, couches, couch and chair, that was my mom's. And when she passed away, I took some of her furniture and then I just put couch covers over it. So it matched and went with my aesthetic. But yeah, no, we don't do expensive. That's not really our life here. I'm always looking for a deal. Yeah. So, but thanks if you think that, I'm living posh. Thank you. And another thing that I have to start right now is making the most out of the food that we have in the kitchen. I remember I was watching Jillian from Jillian Budgets, I believe that's her channel name now. And she would do like these grocery challenges. She's so great about saving money. I mean, check her out. If you don't know who she is, I'll link her channel below. Um, she does a fantastic job, especially with that grocery bill. I think she's a family of four. I could be wrong, but I know it's not just her and her husband. She's definitely a mom. And I'm totally inspired by how she handles her, groceries. So what I need to do is go through everything in my kitchen and utilize it instead of going to the grocery store. So I want to get better at that. My husband pretty much does the grocery shopping, and that's because he knows like what we need as far as health wise. He is a very great personal trainer. He has a lot of education as far as like, eating habits and what exactly you need, and how much protein and how much fiber and this and that. So he buys very healthy items, which is something that does pose a problem when we go to the food pantry. A lot of times we get just junk that we can't use. So we don't make use of the food pantries very often because we feel terrible that most of the stuff we actually would throw out, but we don't. We find someone else to take it. But it seems like it's more hassle. So we just don't take advantage of the food pantries because it doesn't work out great for us. But the stuff that's already in the kitchen that's been there for a while, like in the pantry, not that I have a pantry, my kitchen's not that big, in the cabinets, like way in the back, there's so many things in there. I'm just going to pull everything out, go through it and see, like Jillian does, like, can I plan meals around this stuff that's in my kitchen right now? And then that way I don't need as much, when we go to the grocery store. And then in line with that tweak that I'm going to make, the meal planning, that's another basic frugal tip 101, Um, my husband does do meal planning, but I would say probably only for three, I think only 3 or 4 days out of the week. He knows exactly what he's going to make. This is what we're going to eat. But then the other days we're just kind of like, oh, whatever you find, like it's time to eat leftovers, which is fantastic. If I could just be a little bit more diligent with that, he's got the 3 or 4 days that he plans. Maybe I could pick up the the ball a little bit in that area and plan specifically for those other days. That's that's a change that I think I would like to make right now. So that was just a few things, a few tweaks that I'm going to make as I'm starting this frugal lifestyle. I don't want to put so much on my shoulders at once because I don't want to get overwhelmed where I just teeter out and give up. It's easy to do that when you feel like this is just too much. I'm not going to become an extreme couponer, at least not yet, but just small little changes. And then once I feel like, all right, I really got the hang of this, then I'll continue to add more frugal lifestyle tips to what I'm doing. I feel like that's the best way to get involved with anything new, just take it slow, get the hang of it, get comfy, and then it's like, all right, let's keep it moving. So yeah, that's what I'm doing over here. I'm super excited. I'm actually excited now. I got the wind knocked out of me, from the um, pretty big trials that we've been going through. And I felt like, oh man, I just don't have it in me. But I'm starting to feel a little bit more pumped now. I think part of the reason where the wind, where I felt demotivated, unmotivated, was I'm at the end of that debt payoff. And it's just like, well, okay, well, that's it. I'm working so hard to get rid of this debt. And well, there it is, the end. And then it's like, well, now what do I work towards? So that's part of the reason why I added my husband's debt, like his child support debt, to my goals, because that will keep me kind of excited to saving money and, finding ways to cut our expenses and stuff. That'll keep me pumped up since I'm trying to get something else paid off. That that's one of the tricks that I have to use for myself to keep myself motivated, always have a goal in front of me. Another thing that is helping me to stay motivated is being diligent about finding ways to cut, expenses. So I think I did mention this in my last video that I did contact my mortgage lender to get rid of my escrow. They did say, like, after reviewing your loan, if you qualify to get rid of the escrow, then, we'll send you the remaining amount that's still in escrow to you, and that'll be that. I don't know why they would deny me, because it's like it's up to me whether I want to have an escrow or not. But anyway, hopefully I don't have any issues with that. If I do, I will stand on them and I will strongly urge them to, you know, grant me my wish of getting rid of my escrow, because seriously, I don't need it. But that's got me excited, because I send about $350 to escrow with my mortgage payment. Without that, I can take that $350 and put that in my sinking fund for my husband's child support. Like, I really want to do that. That way I'm helping him pay off this $7,700 expense that he has, or the $7,700 debt that he has hanging over him. I really want to help him clear that out. So if we are doing that together, we'll have that done in a year. Yeah. If he pays half, if he makes his regular monthly payment every single month, and I stash $350 every single month in savings so it can collect interest, at the end of 12 months, I'll have, I think, over half of what he owes. And then there we go. Done. So that's a goal that I'm excited to achieve with my husband, and then we'll be like consumer debt free, and the only thing we'll have is our mortgage. And I believe, because we keep vacillating back and forth about what we're going to do with this house, I believe we're back to selling it, where my husband's just like, let's just get rid of all responsibilities in this area and move on. So I think we're going to sell it. I think that's the latest with that. And then another thing I did is that, we'll see if this works, I signed up for the T-Mobile home internet. I mean, I don't know, it's half the cost of Xfinity. We'll see if it works. I don't know yet. I'll keep you posted. I don't, am I going to have problems like uploading videos? Am I going to have problems streaming television shows? We shall see, because I don't have any problems now with Xfinity. So we'll see if T-Mobile can cut the mustard. I hope so, because $50 a month is so much better than 102. But I'll keep you posted on that. What frugal tips are you guys adopting right now, or what are you doing already that has helped you save money? Leave those thoughts and comments, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help one another, and I get really encouraged and pumped up by ideas from you guys as well. So please share it in comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel so we can all be on this journey together and just continue to bounce ideas off of each other and cheer each other on, because, it gets kind of lonely and depressing when you don't have like that good, support group, but that's what we're here for. So subscribe. So with that, friends, I hope that I see you next time.